Okay.
Could you please introduce yourself and tell us how long you've been um, within the Amarillo area?
I'm John H. Marmaduke, and I've been in the Amarillo area most of my life, other than in college at the University of Texas in Austin. And also, I worked for a few years in Houston getting a branch started of our wholesale company,
Okay,
Western
wonderful.
Merchandisers. Western Merchandisers.
So, Alyssa's first question was Hastings became a cultural landmark in many Route 66 towns. How did being part of that historic corridor influence the way the company grew and connected with communities like Amarillo?
Well, our very when we first started opening Hastings stores, our second store was in Dell City, Oklahoma, a suburb of Oklahoma City. Uh, and I think we had to, and then we took a while. We opened in smaller markets, so I-40 didn't always impact where we were going. But long term, we ended up with 5 stores in Albuquerque,
Wow.
and we just kept following I-40 west. All those towns pretty much had. I think we even tried to get a store to work in uh, Gallup, and it didn't quite work. It wasn't quite a big enough market, but we tried them all.
Yes. Your father, Sam, founded Hastings in 1968 during a time when Route 66 was already changing. What do you think his legacy says about Amarillo's entrepreneurial spirit during that transition?
Well, I think he certainly felt that we could do it from Amarillo, and we did. We ended up being uh, I think, third largest entertainment retail chain in the country, and and I think the second or third largest wholesaler of music and books. So I guess you can, Walmart started in Bentonville, Arkansas. We could start in Amarillo, Texas.
Absolutely. Now, we've been told by a few people in the community that you have quite the story about Elvis.
Uh, Actually, I don't. My brother does. My brother Steve has a lot of great stories about artists because he dealt with them a lot more than I did. I was on the retail side. He was on the purchasing side, so he knew all the record labels, and so he could get people here. Um, Elvis broke out worldwide in Amarillo, Texas. Most people don't know that.
No.
When he appeared at the old Civic Center, and by old I mean really old. It was the one that looked like it was a Belle Epoque building back, and this was in the 50s, and and for some reason the girls rushed the stage, threw panties on the stage, broke out some glass windows, and it made a big article in Life magazine. And what sent Mothers of America apoplectic was his quote. They asked him if he was married, and he said, "Why buy the cow when you can get the milk free?" And that was not, that was, and so he was immediately sort of banned in Boston, so to speak, by mothers across America. And that's all he needed to get going, I think, because that's, it's just like the book business. If you get banned in Boston, your book's going to sell.
Absolutely. Oh, goodness. Looking back, how do you think Route 66 helped shape Amarillo into a place where music, books, and entertainment businesses could thrive on a national scale?
Well, more so then than now, because our unfortunately our civic center is not up to modern standards. But back when I was a teenager, all these bands would come through Amarillo as a pickup date on their way, either going west or coming west going east. And so we got to see a lot of big name acts in small venues. Sly and the Family Stone. I saw the Yardbirds with Eric Clapton. Unfortunately, it was in the Bull Barn, and the acoustics were about like listening in a bucket. But it was fun. They would come and go. Van Morrison played a fraternity dance at WT because a couple of his bandmates were stationed in the Air Force in Amarillo.
Oh, wow.
So there are a lot of those little tie-ins, and so really Amarillo was more on the map then than it is now because all the groups toured by car, by van, by bus, whatever, and nowadays a lot of them tour by air. But
Yes. So, as we're celebrating the 100th anniversary of Route 66, we've tried to really uncover a few stories that people might not often know that you think are important to be shared or told. Is there anything from your time or your family's time in Amarillo, in addition to the Elvis story, that would be something that you think people today might not know, but it's important to the legacy of Amarillo and Route 66?
well, I think almost every entertainer worth their salt spent a lot of time on Route 66 because they toured, and that was your main thoroughfare going west. And so they're all familiar with Amarillo. I never met an entertainer that wasn't familiar with Amarillo. Uh, they all start off, almost all entertainers start off small and start doing the club scene and do the smaller venues. And and Route 66 is certainly the lifeline of that. I mean, that's why for a vacation, Paul McCartney took a Route 66 tour, you know.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your wisdom and your insight and your stories. We're so grateful for you to be part of our project.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you. Have a
All right.
great day.
Bye bye.